That is true. And I think with this, it's sad. The discussions going through with the presentations daily from the White House
Yeah.
about this whole surplus. We're try to get money out quickly. We're going to go big
Yeah.
to the general public. And estimates, they're trying to get numbers out of them, and they're coming up with their own numbers. And it says, about $1,000 per person. And so, yeah, what that's going to do what? They're all going to run out to Target and buy underwear and socks.
Yeah.
Giving considerations of certain people's financial situation right now, $1,000 is like taking a handful of dirt and throwing it in the Grand Canyon to break your fall when you fall off the ledge.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just not very assistive.
Yeah,
I would say. But that's my own personal opinion. Some, yes, that will help provide food and put in place, of course, not these measures for at least 90 days, not foreclosing, not evicting, not allowing for foreclosures or evictions, stuff like that. It'll help a little bit, but it's just putting a Band-Aid on there. Because financially, then, okay, great. I'm okay for now, but well, I'm out of work. I got to go back to work or some kind of job, and that's going to take a couple weeks before I get a paycheck and get something going. And they're talking about numbers in excess 20+% out of work.
Really?
So yeah, when the unemployment rates dropped in the mid threes, so that's going to skyrocket up.
Oh yeah.
As all these businesses, if there's nobody patroning them and there's nobody staying engaged, what are they going to do? Got to cut their overhead.
Yeah.
My nephew was one of them.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Terribly sorry to hear about that.
Well, he's resilient at 22.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we on?
No, not yet. I mean, we can't.
We're talking about some good stuff here.
Here, let's get.
We're just gonna talk. Did you film any of it? No, but that was a great conversation.
Yeah. Oh shoot! Let me get this right. All right. Well, we might as well get this show on the road. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Double R Network. As always, I am your host Rusty, and today we have
Scott Marquette. I've been sober for 30... Oh, wrong meeting. Sorry. Yeah, I always get that wrong when I'm in front of people. No. Hi. A friend of Rusty's here. I had the privilege and opportunity to meet him a couple of years ago, actually, in a point of work. And he has such a tonal voice.
Thank you.
It's definitely ear-catching, if that could be a phrase to use.
Definitely.
Commenting on that when we had met. And encouragement had been given to me a number of times about, well, you should try radio and such. Like 20 years ago at late night in Tucson, maybe there might be something out there. But his, especially, your voice, wow. Yours is so impactful. And it resonates. And,
I appreciate that.
And pleasant to the ears. So appreciate having the opportunity to meet you, and thank you for the invitation to come to your podcast.
Thank you. Clink, clink.
Yes, we're sequestering.
Absolutely.
So. And I think with wine, that's a good way to do it.
Right. But I got to say the same thing about your voice. That was one thing that the first time I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, like I swear, like you did a commercial or something sometime point or another. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool to meet people with awesome voices.
Definitely. That one gentleman, that was the sensation. He was on the radio, unfortunately became homeless.
Oh,
and
yes.
The woman filmed him, and he was doing the golden tones of radio.
Yeah.
And took that, and it went viral. And got him back into the game. And he's had some bumps in the road, as I understand it, however, when you're recovering from things.
Yeah.
But just the voice alone carries him.
No, seriously. You know what? Maybe I should change up my strategy. Forget this. I'm gonna pick up a sign. I'm gonna write on a cardboard thing, stand out there, and start talking to people on the side of the road.
Listen to my voice.
Yeah. And send it to all your friends on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Put it out there. Make it become viral. There are different representative companies. I think I sent you a link to one of them as well. That when I was listening to individuals will go on the website and they'll listen to different people's speech patterns, and then they'll hire them for a project, give them a certain amount. The company takes a certain amount, like an agent, and that's how they get business. And I'm listening to a number of them, and there's a lot of happy, jovial, commercially jingly types. I didn't hear any horror movies. I didn't hear anything that was like evil and
Demonic.
yeah, like getting the voiceovers going.
Yeah.
There was a comedian years ago. If you haven't heard him before, look up Pablo Francisco. I've met him. He's from originally where I grew up in southern Arizona near Casa Grande and Nogales.
Yeah.
And he does this wonderful comedy show. His voice is to the point he can mimic the gentleman who used to do all the commercials.
Oh, no kidding.
Art LaFleur, I think it was Art. I'm trying to recall his name.
Yeah.
But he could echo him exactly.
Oh.
So he'd be, as part of his comedy act, saying some of these commercials. And it was great. You know?
Wait, you know what? I think I may have seen him. I think I may have seen
if you haven't, you got to check it out. Props to him. I've seen him a couple times. Haven't heard about him recently.
Yeah.
But he's performed. We saw him up in Irvine.
Yeah.
And such. One man, one desire.
Yes, I have. That guy is freaking phenomenal. Oh my gosh, I have. Where's he been? What's he been doing?
I don't know. He goes, double the action. Get down. Yeah. Double the excitement. Get down again. Get to the chopper.
Yeah.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, little tortilla boy.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that.
Love the voice. His voice.
Incredible. Yeah. One man.
One desire. Yeah. The gentleman that used to do those, there was a great interview with him. Don't recall where it's located. He created, in Los Angeles, a sound studio in his house.
Oh, nice.
So they had pictures of it, and I think they had some video too. He would come downstairs in his living room, had basically an encased glass enclosure, like a phone booth. And he would go to work. They would email him stuff to do. Yeah. He had the microphones and everything all set up so you couldn't hear any background noise. He'd step in, close the door, record what he needed to record, and that's how he went on his day.
That's awesome.
Doing commercials and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say this podcast is a good open door.
Yeah. That's almost like
speaking.
Yeah, that's almost like a Superman Clark Kent kind of ordeal. Hop into the phone booth, do your thing, hop out.
Honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
He had a whole routine about art at home. Hi, honey, you're so sexy. Let's get naked now. Like using the commercial
like borderline Shatner there.
Funny how that works.
Yes.
Oh, how long have you been doing this podcast for?
Just kind of like dabbling with it for the past couple months. It was not something I knew if I wanted to really take seriously. So I just got a few bits of equipment here and there, as you can see. I got a few more things coming in order.
Nice.
To improve the set and just kind of like gradually improve it and see what happens.
Like toilet paper and paper towels and hand
exactly.
sanitizer.
I'll have stacks in the background and we'll make like a little chair, my TP throne.
Oh, there you go. I tell you.
Apocalypse ready.
And wine. You have to have copious amounts of wine.
Lots of wine.
Do it. Yeah.
Wine, women, and weed. Galore, NTV.
Exactly. Well, it's definitely an interesting time that we're living in right now.
Oh, immensely.
It seems to be a day-by-day change in the atmosphere, change in reporting of what's going on and such. Yes. And to still have the connectivity with people, still keeping things almost, I hate to say regular, but stay moving forward, doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Stay engaged. And I think it's great that you're continuing to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's providing content for those people that may or may not be able to get out.
Exactly.
Maybe stuck, so they'll be able to check things out and engage.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I see a lot of people getting despondent now and worried and upset and fearful. And just that stress alone will induce physical symptoms for individuals. I feel for everybody. I feel for this whole situation. Never would have expected it. And I thought the last couple of years were a little more challenging with things that was going on personally. And no, it's doesn't compare. This is something in our lifetime. Interestingly enough, we're going to sharing stories with our future generations about what's happening at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely gonna change how we do things,
Hmm.
or how we at least look at things.
Yes.
And yeah, I definitely think people. I mean, even in the age of this um, screen to face kind of ordeal where you
Hmm.
see everyone glued to their technology,
Yes.
um, they they're already kind of socially distancing themselves. This is going to add another level to that, I believe, to the point where it may make regular interaction almost awkward,
Mm.
which is
Agreed.
very concerning. Very concerning.
I was mentioning my nephew earlier.
Yes,
He
yes.
at 22 now, and when he was younger, of course, as these new generations come about, probably age 13, 14, I wanted to take him out to the desert and bury him somewhere and leave him for the buzzards. Just his attitude and his
Yeah.
perception. And as time progressed, he's grown up. He's learned the value of life, the value of
Good.
giving,
Hmm.
of interacting. But that's the interesting thing. He was socially, pardon the phrase, but retarded.
Hmm.
Basically, he was um, not up to par with those others because a majority of his time was spent playing games behind a computer, behind uh, other elements of entertainment.
Hmm.
That when it came to the point of getting him out, and I'd take him out to meet people,
Yeah.
and he didn't practice or wasn't very well aware of the nuances of communication, eye contact, body language.
Hmm.
He was just very it was in infancy, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see that with a lot of kids too.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
go to different places, different stores and whatnot, and they're just
Hmm.
like very eyes down here, transactional. Just here's your money, thank you.
Yeah. Very rudimentary
Hmm.
interactions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's good that I love to see people connecting more,
Yeah.
and I think that might be an interesting ripple effect. As
Yeah.
more and more people are reaching out on Skype, reaching
Hmm.
out on their phones through Facebook Messenger, calling people
Hmm.
because of that. Uh, they're not so engaged with all this other distractions going on.
Hmm.
So I reached out to friends of mine
Yeah.
who are actually in the heart of it, in I believe in a little province of Valencia in Italy,
Oh.
and they're Argentinians. They were here in the United States for years.
Uh-huh.
He was doing well as he owned a hair salon in Encinitas.
Nice. Nice.
Wife teaching Spanish, working. She got a real estate license. A great couple, but they wanted to go back 2 years ago to Argentina to be
Hmm.
more with family, becoming grandparents and such.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And they're in Italy, in the heart of everything. And I could just, that's the one positive. I could pick this up and pulled them up yesterday and said, "How are you doing? Are
Yeah.
you okay?"
Yeah.
Love technology in that respect.
Yeah.
Could never do that.
Yeah.
10 years. Wow. Actually, I'm glad in high school they didn't have phones and stuff 20 years ago. Yeah. A lot of stuff like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What
Right?
happened in school stayed in school.
What
Nowadays,
happened senior year?
oh yeah, oh yeah. And so the positives and negatives. There's good points and bad points. I
Yeah.
think. Uh, you have. I'm sure a lot of friends you stay connected to and people you talk to. Have
Yeah.
you seen that increase more so with what's going on?
Yeah, yeah,
Interaction.
definitely. I've definitely seen more people kind of just keeping tabs,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of saying a hello, and especially cousins, relatives, different things like that. Just
Mm-hmm.
checking in on family, making sure we all got supplies and everything's okay,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is good to have that kind of system going. Uh, um, definitely gives you a sense of like connection
Mm-hmm.
with the people you like and love. With the friends, I think it's mainly just, hey guys, just thinking about you. Hope everything's all right. Let
Yeah.
me know if something's going awry, kind of ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, definitely.
It's sad that larger events, unfortunately, sometimes have to occur to get us off the fence to be more engaged.
Yeah,
Like a lot of people are not working out unless they have a health condition. A lot of
right.
people aren't. When's the last time you talked to so and so? Oh, it's been ages. Da 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 da. okay, here's events that are going on. Hey, how you doing? How
Yeah.
you been? I haven't talked to you forever.
Yeah.
I would hope we'd be a little more proactive than that. Some people are, some people are not. I'm not generalize. Well, I generalize. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I just I see certain aspects outside of what we're encountering now that hopefully from somewhat of a positive standpoint will cause a ripple effect
Yeah.
where people treasure more what's most important to them, which
Mhm.
are relationships and
Yeah.
life and family and friends and that instead of, oh, I need to race out and get the next video game that just hit the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, priorities, shifting of
Exactly.
priorities maybe a little bit.
I would hope so. I think for a long time we've been very individualistic, as a society and very self-centered.
Hmm.
And I really do hope that maybe this event will bring a sense of community,
Hmm.
back to people and may make people want to help out their neighbors.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
I think it's been a while since I've seen someone just kind of offer to help.
Hmm.
Someone they live nearby with a whole lot.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
I mean, I'll help you, throw out a trash can or something like that, or do something. But bringing over copious amounts of food and cooking them a casserole, I don't
Hmm.
think isn't as widespread as it used to be.
No, no, I hate to say,
Yeah,
although there's probably instances of it over time.
yeah,
The last, excuse me, larger population impact of doing things for humanity or mankind.
hmm,
I mean, I could be totally wrong, but my impression, just from a personal standpoint, was back in 2001.
yes,
We had September 11th,
yes,
and that drew together a nation
hmm,
because we're under attack. We're
hmm,
experiencing a sense of loss, a sense of um, anxiety, things like that. And so, yeah, I had lived in the East Coast for a number of years in
okay,
Connecticut and traveled always to New York. It was like an hour away on the train,
yeah,
and had been to World Trade Center, had been to Statue of Liberty, and all those iconic places.
hmm,
And to hear the impact back then, it tore my heart out.
yeah,
And now to see people impacted with what's going on, it yeah, reach out there to someone, see what you can do to help.
hmm,
I actually have made a few phone calls. Hey, can I drop off some toilet paper or paper towel? I know
yeah,
that isn't much, but lemons.
yeah,
I'm just baffled at some of the things that are disappearing.
hmm,
Um, I've heard people say I went to the grocery store, I couldn't find onions.
yeah.
Onions. Okay.
It's like,
Maybe
well, that's weird.
I'm going to make buckets of onion soup. That's really going to get me through all this
Yeah,
problem.
man.
Uh, yeah, yeah. It's so we. I think at the point of going back to some of the basics. My
Hmm.
mother, um, God bless her, she's a little over 80 years old, and unfortunately, she broke her hip in mid 18, and it just changed her whole lifestyle, changed
Yeah,
everything. She's beaten the odds though because she's gone out of the wheelchair and onto a walker,
nice.
which love it. She's doing a little physical therapy. She's getting her strength back.
Yeah,
But mom was an avid reader,
okay,
reading constantly. She'd fall asleep with a book on her on
okay,
her chest,
yeah,
and have to take her glasses off and put them away when she went to bed,
hmm,
and had disconnected with that. And
hmm,
then just recently, in the assisted living community, I brought her from Arizona out here to California.
hmm,
She's right down the street from my office.
nice.
They allowed for people to briefly visit, then they changed some protocols, and I totally understand it because the assisted livings and communities as such, they're some of the most vulnerable population, and
Absolutely.
so they've sequestered him in there,
Hmm.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I talk to her almost every day and drop stuff off, and they'll bring it up to her. But she's reading again.
Oh,
She's
good.
picked up books, and she says, she loves Nicholas Sparks. So
Hey, hey,
I
hey.
got through this book, and I'm getting another one, and by having that time available, she's discovering that.
Nice.
So yeah, we can't just freak out about things. It's non-productive, I would
Yeah.
say, causing aggressive actions or people becoming upset or even volatile.
Hmm.
It's not. I don't think it's going to accomplish very much.
Yeah. No, definitely
Yeah,
not.
you're
You,
still working.
yeah.
You're living your life. You're enjoying life.
You got to keep going. You got to be resilient through stuff and figure it out. You may get hit with a punch in the face every once in a while, but Yeah, you just gotta try to be as fluid as possible to kind of get through
Yeah.
certain hard times. And yeah, and just kind of going off of what you said, it's interesting how certain panics can cause like an artificial scarcity. Like you were seeing people buying copious amounts of milk. And
Yes.
it's like, well, it's all going to expire in
Right.
about 2 weeks anyway. I don't know what the hell you're doing with that. Enjoy your 20 gallons of milk, lady.
Well, you need a lot of milk to make pancakes.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, right, pancakes to the end of the world there. But
Yeah. Eggs are gone.
I
Eggs,
know.
milk.
The thing is, if you're going to buy a ridiculous amount of some type of milk or eggs, you got to get powdered. You got to get something else that's going to last longer than just something on the shelf.
That's true. Well, I bought powdered water the other day, but I don't know what to add.
You got to blow on it in a cup.
It's like the Lycomade sticks that we used to have when we were kids. Lick the white stick, stick it in the powder.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
Do the same thing with powdered water. I'm so hydrated.
Right.
Yeah. See, laughter. Laughter is a wonderful cure.
Laughter is key in a lot of instances. Best medicine, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah, it helps with a number of ailments, and it helps keep the spirits up. It helps people through some of the tough times.
Yeah, definitely.
And just keep it on with the day to day. I had total knee replacement surgery May of 2019, so less than a year. The physical therapy, the VA would only pay for so much of it. So my friend, excellent friend, and invited me, said, hey, my wife and I are going to the gym. You want an accountability partner? You want some help? And that helps. It does. When you know somebody else is getting their butt out of bed and you've got to go meet up with them.
Yeah.
Less restricting in terms of making that decision. No, I don't really want to go to the gym today.
Yeah.
And I've been going on a constant basis, Monday through Friday. Built up a whole new routine since March. Or no, since November. Excuse me.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. And here it is. It's going to be difficult because it takes 21 days to create a habit and about 3 days to blow it off and destroy it. So got to get up every day and work out. Keep going.
You got to keep doing it.
Yeah. So it's an interesting time, and I'm just happy of the fact of having support systems, having good people in the life, and being able to engage. That's the one. Again, I digress, but the one thing I really love about technology is you can use it for informational purposes, and you can use it for connectivity.
Yeah.
It's just a point. It's almost like alcohol.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the alcohol, but if it becomes a disruptive force in your life, that's when you really got to take a close look at it. If you're too tied to the screen, if you're too much sitting at home rather than interacting.
Yeah.
Then,
well, it's just like anything, and something in moderation is always, okay. But, in excess or, sometimes, with the lack thereof, it's, it can go awry.
Yeah.
But anyway, just kind of going back, just touching base with what we were talking about, the whole buying things. I was hearing that like 6 months of hand sanitizer that they had on reserve is all gone, and other things are being sold out left and right. So if people were to just go out, and about their daily lives, go, odd times to go shopping or whatever, and buy what you would typically need to get, we would all still have plenty of stock to go around.
Agreed. And if you wash your hands.
Yeah, with regular soap.
What a concept.
I know. Who would have thought?
Which is making me wonder if all these people are stockpiling on all the soaps, hand sanitizers, toilet paper, and paper towels. What have they been doing for the last 20 years? Have they just not been washing their hands or wiping themselves? Is an absence of that activity that now all of a sudden, I think I should do that.
And walk outside. Oh my gosh, it smells clean.
There's air out here. Honey, come outside.
Right? It's so bright.
As I tell you, you can still go outside, just don't congregate in groups. Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
go walk around. It's not an airborne thing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, hey, see, it's a hint. It's looking at the outside. See, go outside.
The interesting thing is that people are still recommending that you, hey, that was perfect, right on spot. That you walk your dog. You still call your relatives. You don't freak out and start isolating each other. That's going to cause some major problems. But anyway, speaking about you know, a major, not a catastrophe, but just a block in the economy, right? Like this one has me thinking. What do you mind talking about your profession really quick?
Not at all. Not at all.
So,
I've
what do you
had
do?
14 different careers
Okay.
in my lifetime, and
Okay.
about soon to reach 50. And there's still more to go.
Yeah.
You got to enjoy life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the fate had brought me in the direction of becoming a business consultant, which taught me about real estate, which put me in the position to get my license, and that's been an integral part of my life for coming up now on almost 18 years. So luckily, I have the opportunity to own a real estate brokerage in Carlsbad, Harmony Realty. We're right in the village there, and brought on not just everybody. You don't just fog a mirror and walk in the door. We're a congregated group of friends and trustworthy people. I didn't want to bring just anybody, and so it's those that actually have the focus of their clientele and their wants and needs. And it's given me a whole interesting learning experience and perspective
Yeah.
in working in real estate. And now it's interesting to see some of the changes that are coming about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just within a short period of time, we were notified by the association. We have forms for pretty much just about anything that could happen.
Okay.
There's an interesting form I just want to mention real quick. It's a couple of years ago, a buyer purchased a property, had a detached garage, and they have an Escalade. And before the deal consummated, they didn't check the garage. They didn't drive into it. So they sued after the closing the seller because their Escalade did not fit in the detached garage.
Huh.
And I'm like, just okay, shaking my head. That's an interesting one. So they have a form now in instructing the buyer in very plain, simple English to investigate everything. Look at the shed. Look at its storage. Look at the parking garage.
Yeah, like a bonehead checklist.
Kind of yes. Kind of yes. So we have things. We have attorneys who sit and put their heads together to put forms together to help protect buyers and sellers, which is great. This is a lot that happens behind the scenes. Before, in the 1970s, you would have one sheet of paper, double-sided. That's what you used to buy a house.
Wow.
Now, average is about 80 to 90 forms.
Oh.
Give or take, depending on the circumstances.
I mean, talk about efficient back in the day, right?
Yes. Here you go. Sign it. I bought it. Here's the money.
There's a scribble here, and that's yours.
Yeah. Here's a napkin. Sign the napkin when I do it. Yeah, Grandpa. All right. Give me a napkin. I own it. And there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
And agents, we're not attorneys. Not whatsoever. Some are. Some have their JDs. But a majority of us are not attorneys. But yet we're there. We need to understand how the contracts are implemented, how they affect our clients, and be very much aware of their circumstances. And now, with everything that's going on, a whole new form has come about called the Coronavirus Addendum Amendment.
Oh.
And that just hit last night.
Okay.
Yesterday, I should say. It was an email sent out the night prior at 6 p.m., and then the form was available yesterday, the CVA form. And it's interesting, but it addresses certain aspects where people are buying or selling certain, condo or a house or a townhome or whatever. And if the ancillary services are not available or the circumstances prevent them from doing something, meaning an individual could not, for some reason, sign a form, or the escrow company to collect the money and move things around, or the county recorder's office to put the title in somebody's name are not available, then there are other considerations to explore.
Okay.
Extend the time to buy it, or cancel it out if it's going to be stymied or stalemated or whatnot.
Okay.
I think that's interesting. It's true. Little things, some things we think about and some things we don't think about, how it's going to impact society.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling that there's still plenty of people who need houses, who want to buy, and there are still plenty of people who want to sell. It's just dealing with everything else that surrounds them to accomplish the task.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still see the market pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
We're in San Diego County. We have strong population and a number of individuals moving in consistently because of our weather, our economy,
Mm-hmm.
our job opportunities, the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's pretty stable
Mm-hmm.
in most areas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you're looking to do that, just that, either move in or move out, I tell you, keep going, keep moving forward,
Yeah.
because so many things are done digitally now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm hearing the attorneys talking about these things, and I'm rolling through past experiences, and a majority of things because of technology, as we've been talking about, that you can accomplish a lot. You can sign documents electronically,
Mm-hmm.
and it's legally binding in the state of California. You have to accept electronic signatures on documents. You don't necessarily have to utilize them, but you have to legally accept them as valid.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things we can accomplish without having to be wide open.
Yeah.
Banks are still open. People are still walking in, depositing checks and such.
Mm-hmm.
They're just taking precautions. They're behind 3 inches of glass, or bulletproof plexiglass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're okay there.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed to be a part of that industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're part of people's lives. Because the majority of people only buy maybe 1-2 homes in their lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's on that tier of what we used to consider milestones in one's life. So
Mm-hmm.
graduating school, getting a college degree, getting married, buying a house, impactful things in
Yeah.
people's lives.
Oh yeah.
And so I've just had the opportunity to meet some wonderful people over the years, and we're great friends
Yeah.
over time. And it's going to be tough. There's going to be a ripple effect. People are going to be fearful. I talked to the lender, a friend of mine today, and was asking, so what's going on? Because you see all these news reports with the Fed. Well, Fed just dropped the rate, emergency
Yeah.
rate drop and such.
Yeah. Now they're at what, zero or
Yeah,
point
yeah.
0.025 or something like that.
Yes, yes. It's like, what?
Yeah.
For 30-year fixed. However, there's an interesting, again, ripple effect
Uh-huh.
where hearing certain institutions are having difficulties because so many people want. And I'd say call your service provider, call your friend who may be a lender, call your bank, call your credit union, whoever you have your mortgage through, if you have a mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
and investigate what can be done for you, if anything. Because if you're out of work, they're looking at instituting moratoriums of non-foreclosure and non-evictions for 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
which is good, but you have to prepare for the future. If you have a mortgage, can your service provider, will they refinance it? Will they drop the rates a little bit? Will they give you some breathing room
Mm-hmm.
for the long term?
Yeah.
Having paid less money each month,
Mm-hmm.
and telling people to investigate. But the lender I talked to said, well, some of them are becoming so overwhelmed and inundated, and some lenders have artificially raised their rates just to stop the flow.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
they got a floodgate going here.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm back up to 4%, I'm not going to be flooded.
Yeah.
And his institution is not. They can handle the volume.
Mhm.
But he's saying, but then the Fed jumped back up again. So rates are
Mm.
down, rates are up. We just had one of my agents. He was helping his nephew, and his wife, purchase a place, and it just finished just the other day,
Oh wow.
just a couple days ago,
Mhm.
and we're all like, phew, so glad that came through without anything else affecting the financing of it.
Yeah.
Because jumbo loans, anything over within the 700,000 range,
Mhm.
which average prices in the state of California,
Yep.
our median in San Diego County is about $580,000. So a jumbo loan is you're trying to get enough money to buy a decent house,
Mhm.
which those are averaging $700,000 to $800,000.
Yeah.
And he said the lines of resources, the credit, people are pulling back money. They're not putting money into investments. They're not putting money into lending. They're pulling it out and holding it cash, watching what's happening with the stock market.
Mhm.
So he had places he could go, and 10 of them went away like that. So
Interesting.
he's going to see, he says, honestly, for those that are living in more higher end markets, 800,000 and above, that need financing,
Mhm.
there might be some challenges with that.
Hmm.
So telling people be proactive now.
Yeah.
Just like they're saying to be proactive in taking care of yourself, washing your hands, washing your face,
Yeah.
watching out, being with people. Well, be proactive in looking at your financial situation, how much you've got, what you can do, and maybe adjusting some things,
Mm-hmm.
or if there's any opportunities to, which may help you, not just now, but down the road.
Yeah.
With rents, I thought that was interesting. Because people, if you're out of work, how are you going to pay your rent?
Yeah. That $1,000 stipend is only going to get you so far.
Yeah, that's
especially with
wow.
what's the average rent out here? Like 1,500 to 1,600, something
For
like
a one
that.
bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, there are.
So that'll get me almost to 1 month.
Fantastic. There you go.
And I still don't have toilet paper.
Do you at least have the bounties where you can tear them off in
Yeah.
strips?
No,
you know?
seriously, I'm going to get some paper towel rolls, just saw them in half. And then that's big enough, just about.
Oh, that's great.
There we go. Thank you, Bounty.
I've got 4 out of 1. That could work so nicely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it serious for some people? Yes. I saw some people posting, we only have 1 roll of toilet paper left. Okay, I'll bring you some. You know, I didn't hoard. I just, you know, it's me and a cat in my place, and
Yeah.
I've got bags of sand, so he's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, 1 Costco size roll of toilet paper is about yay big, about as big as your head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that take like a month.
Yeah.
You said investing in bidets. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Right?
They said the bidet sales have gone up.
Yeah.
People are buying them and installing them.
I believe it. I mean, with no toilet paper, you got to do what you got to do to feel like you're living luxury still in a downward economy.
That's true. Oh, yeah. I was at Smart and Final when a week and a half ago when things started bubbling, and a woman was there and had the whole thing stacked with toilet paper, and it was already through the cashier had already rung it up, and it was just this mountain sitting there. And look at her and look at the cashier and. You know, there's baby wipes, right? And she looked at me. Yeah, there's these cool things. They're kind of wet, and you could use them, and that's when they were still plentiful. I think those have been
Be right back.
Acquired. I was like, if you haven't gotten enough of this, why don't you go back and get those?
Right. I know. I saw somebody buying like it was right when everyone started to start flocking to the markets.
Yeah.
He bought like a bunch of wet ones. It was just like a giant case, almost like a Costco-sized crate of just wet ones.
Ah,
all right.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So
he can paste one on every inch of his body, and roll around. You know.
I can walk outside now.
Yes,
I'm protected.
I can give people hugs again.
Oh, I just looking at bigger pictures and seeing how things go. How many people, when they sneeze, do this?
Yeah, I would say
and
about
then they go, "Hey, I'm just
what
going to
up,
give you an
man?"
elbow bump." Okay, yeah. Here's a tissue. Sneeze into the tissue, not your shirt or your, and
then chest bump.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, wow. Sometimes common sense is just that, common sense, and it's not exactly a plethora of that when emotion or fear get involved.
Yes.
So keep things copacetic. Keep things moving along. Not to mean don't be cautious.
Yeah.
Don't be careful.
So,
but don't go run and hide.
Yeah.
Or don't be fearful that the world's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Because if that belief system starts to spread, things will start to unravel.
Mm-hmm.
But see, things are going to be impacted for a period of time, and hopefully put back together again.
Yeah.
We recovered from the influenza in 1918. Killed a lot of people. We didn't have the resources that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
And we recovered from that.
Yeah.
We recovered from the stock market crash. Come back from that.
Mm-hmm.
The human beings are quite resilient.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So
it's only a matter of time before I think everything kind of feels normal again. I mean, it's bad, because people are panicked. It's something we haven't encountered before, at least not to this magnitude.
Yeah.
I mean, Ebola was kind of scary a few
Yeah.
years ago.
Hmm.
SARS also
Yeah.
pretty scary. But both were handled, I feel, in a different manner. This just seems like it's not going to go away. I think from the amount of media being pushed in people's faces about what to do, what not to do.
Hmm.
Um, um, so I think being bombarded with that just doesn't help at all. You know.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
Simple messages from the CDC,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of blips here and there from the government, just kind of reminding people, hey, you got to do certain things, wash your hands, keep the
Hmm.
distancing, sending people out, in the communities to kind of pass out flyers or,
Yeah.
an application to download on your phone and spreading awareness of, what to look out for, what to not do in a business,
Hmm.
what to be pushing, information to other people,
Yeah.
in the world of all this technology, it's important to be sharing and posting things that are relevant and true,
True.
especially in
That's
an
yeah.
age
True.
of fake news. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not letting the troll farms or the whatever it was, kind of take over and just start spreading a bunch of BS
Yeah.
is also key to
I,
sanity.
I
I
couldn't
think.
agree more. Education is key, and understand how
Mm.
many people know what type of virus this is, how it affects the human system,
Yeah.
ways of prevention, ways of recovery.
Mm-hmm.
I see graphs and charts published, which are excellent,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see an emphasis of, okay, these many people are infected,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the numbers are up to 82, 83,000 that have recovered out of the
Is it really
100 and some odd thousand that were infected.
impressive?
Yeah.
The last thing I heard about that was that people in charge of keeping track of number of infected deaths
Hmm.
weren't necessarily focusing on recovery.
Hmm.
Um, just trying to keep a control on the spreading of it,
Yeah.
which I understand, but I think it would also give a better picture as to what's going on if you can see who's getting out of that, who's
Hmm.
coming out of it unscathed. You
Yes.
know, because figuring out why they came out okay versus somebody else might also give us a new perspective
Hmm.
as to which way to go about this virus.
Hmm.
I mean, I went to school for studying in labs for years, and I mean that's just a part of what you would do to kind of weave out some of the discrepancies, to get rid of some of the hypotheses that don't make any
Hmm.
sense whatsoever.
Right.
But unless you have all the data to look at, that hypothesis that you thought was complete bullshit after you figured out everything
Yeah.
may look viable if you just have A, B, and C.
Right.
Without the rest of the alphabet.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, alphabet could be 10 letters. Yeah, fuck it. I got 3
Oh,
right here. you know? So I think figuring out a little bit more about it, just doing more research. I like the acceleration in human trials.
Yes.
Usually it takes a lot longer to get human trials going. But being able to push that, the fact that China was able to sequence the genetic code of the
Hmm.
virus also helped accelerate, the awareness and finding that cure or vaccine
Hmm.
to help push that. And actually, eh, okay, so did you hear that Bill Gates just resigned or stepped away from Microsoft and his chair at Berkshire Hathaway?
So he can entirely focus on the Bill Gates Foundation and
Exactly.
these causes,
Yeah, to
which is
pursue
great.
his philanthropic pursuits.
Yeah.
It's I. What's funny is I think it's right on time with Jeff Bezos
Mm.
committing $10 billion to fund climate initiatives.
Nice.
Did you hear about that one too?
I didn't hear that one.
No,
No.
yeah. I was talking to a couple people about it. I think even on one of these things, one of these podcasts. The Jeff Bezos just committed $10 billion, which I think is 7% of his net worth or something like that,
Hmm.
to fund charities and projects to help reverse the effects of climate change. I mean, that means anything from planting trees to creating a type of a cyclone that will remove CO2 from the atmosphere.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
so he did that just maybe about a month ago.
Wow.
and now Bill Gates, I think, is heading up right behind, trying to also help the that just snowball, And I
Right.
think those two guys are going to be what maybe gets someone else like Elon Musk to commit
Mm.
some money, and then get Warren Buffett to chip in a couple bucks here and there, and then
Yeah.
it'll just get everything kind of moving, especially after this outbreak is done, just to kind of get things in the right order.
I hope so.
Yeah.
As it comes down to the management,
Mm-hmm.
we pay all these taxes for gas,
Mm-hmm.
for otherwise go towards improving our infrastructure, improving our roads, improving our schools, improving this and this,
Yes.
and still seeing, well, we still need more money.
Yeah.
Well, where's all these improvements?
Yeah.
And well, no, we need to pull this money out and divert it, and we still need to get more money to fill those coffers, but we're going to use the money for other things.
Yeah.
I, I was a piece of government property for 10 years. I was in the Army
Mm-hmm.
and had to comply to all the rules and regulations.
Yes. Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. No, I'm not a sir. I worked for a living.
Sir's my father.
Yeah. So, well, I did go to officer school, but because of my knee, I had 6 surgeries in total and wasn't able to continue on with the military career.
Gotcha.
But I saw some of the positive points of those individuals leading,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the ineptitude of individuals who are leading the charge. So it all comes down to logistics, proper management, proper execution.
Yes.
And nothing is perfect. I don't expect anything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But there are different ways of going about it to make sure, well, not make sure, to try to do the best you can
Yes.
for things to work out the way they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that's the case. I know how much money, tax-wise, I believe poured into the government that goes into so many other things. There was a great question that was asked when the White House was doing its briefing.
What was that?
All this money that's going to bail out these businesses and such.
Okay.
And one reporter, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something I heard that just piqued my attention.
What was you saying?
Excellent question. It was, how are we going to assure that the money that's going to bail out these businesses is not going to be like delved out in bonuses to the CEOs and the people that work for these companies, like all the other bailout money from AIG and
Yeah, like
and all
what
these
happened
other
12
companies.
years ago.
Right. How are we going to ensure that it isn't just the wealthy are going to take more of this
Yeah.
share, and the companies
Yeah.
and the working population of these companies is going to be positively impacted or be
Mhm.
taken care of? And I forget what the convoluted response was to that.
Due to our analysis from economics, we've come to the conclusion that the majority of the people involved will definitely take part in the initiatives that we've calculated here set forth.
Well, I think that
Next question, please.
We're going big. We're going real big.
It's gonna be huge.
I think the euphemism is safeguard. We're putting safeguards in place.
Yeah.
What's a safeguard?
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
which are what?
Yeah. Can you tell me specifically?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take care of that. We're going to be good with that,
Yeah.
and we'll protect that. And
The specifics are going to be hashed out when it's set in place.
right. Yes, that's the other response.
Like,
yeah.
aren't we supposed to know that beforehand?
Can you tell me exactly that?
You know?
No, we're still working on that.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And, okay. I don't know. It's like they tell people, don't go to the grocery store hungry.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store with a list of those items so you can
Mhm.
specifically go after that, what your needs are, your wants are, and you walk out with not wasting time, energy, or money.
Exactly.
So you're going to go into a plan, have specific steps to execute the plan before you just willy-nilly pull a trigger and just start shifting money and doing things. And I understand intent, but
Mm-hmm.
how? Even the most rudimentary set of furniture from IKEA has very implicit instructions.
Step by step.
Yeah, it even starts at the beginning. You have so many screws, you have so many dowels, you have so many of these. Count what you have.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, move to step 1. Start screwing this together.
Yeah.
Put steps in place. Put a clear goals.
Mhm.
when I worked in business consulting, I always loved, and I'm trying to remember where it exactly came from. I think it's been something that's been passed along from mentor to mentor, from speaker to speaker. But somebody coined the acronym SMART goals.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, simple, make them clear, measurable,
Yeah.
something that has time attached to it, something the way you can measure it, whether it be weight loss by getting on a scale or taping your body parts to see if they shrink or not.
Yeah.
Achievable.
Mm-hmm.
That was and it's true. I'm going to fly. Well, jump out a window and see how well that works for you. Something that is attainable.
Start with a baby step first.
Yeah,
Let's see how that works out for you.
Attainable or achievable. I'm going to make $10 million. Well, how about this week you try to make 100?
Yeah. Let's start with the first 1,000.
Yeah. Hence, they tie together the achievable and the realistic.
Yeah.
Realistic goals.
Yeah.
Those that you feel that you're not climbing too large of a hill, where you don't get so disappointed quickly and lose faith or lose your momentum or whatnot. And time-based goals. So simple, achieve. Wow, I can't even spell anymore. There's some wine here.
We have to have another sip. That'll definitely bring it back.
Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-based goals.
Wonderful.
Specificity.
Yeah.
And that's something that I learned from, and something that I try to implement in my life, of getting certain places in life. And I think that'd be great if they have a plan. And I understand it. The public and media and people are push. We need to do something now in media, because we've come such to be a fast-paced generation. If we have to sit in a drive-through for more than a minute and a half, we start looking at our watch and going, "What's going on?
I want to talk to a manager.
How come my fast food isn't here now?"
Yeah,
it's not fast enough.
Yeah,
fast-paced society.
Yeah,
that
call us yesterday society. I wanted yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. They said when you're advertising, when working in many forms of advertising, but I'm in real estate, and it's even rings true for that.
Yeah,
you have about 9 seconds to get someone's attention.
Really? Is that short now?
That's short.
Wow.
And because of all the media that's available.
No.
So whether it be a podcast, whether it be a non-mobile, like a sheet of paper, like an ad or something, a two-dimensional advertisement, have to catch them instantly, or if not.
Well, thanks, guys, for the ones that lasted longer than 9 seconds.
Yeah. How'd you make it through that? That's pretty impressive.
What's your secret?
Yeah. Was it the content? Hopefully the content. Maybe it was the wine.
Oh, it was
the
pretty
wine
face.
that kept them engaged.
That's what it was. The beard. The fantastic beard.
Oh, that's going away. Yeah.
You're going to get rid of it?
Yeah.
No? Oh, wow.
There's,
when's that going to happen? You're going to have a party?
This weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah. Have a shaving the beard party.
Nice.
Well, there's certain medical aspects that go with that.
Okay.
Been prescribed a sleep apnea machine, a CPAP.
Gotcha.
And trying to fight and wrestle with the masks and such, which is great because it's prepared me for wearing masks out in general public, because I have to wear it at night.
If you can sleep with one, you can wear it during the day.
Completely. You become accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And it just not getting been trying it for months now and not getting the full effect or the full benefits I'd like.
Gotcha.
And that was something that they brought up on my last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, the woman plainly put it straight out there. She goes, "Well, you're willing to sacrifice your beard?" And I'm like, "Okay, just to try, see if it makes a difference." So,
the good thing is it grows back, just in case you hate
exactly.
it. You got it back.
If it doesn't have better effects, then the beard goes back again.
Right.
But I've had that beard for 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps me nice and warm.
Definitely.
But it also it doesn't say anything. That's the one thing I've been trying to find research on. How does the virus interact with facial hair? Because it has little spikes. Does it grab on and does it hold on to your hair?
Never thought about that.
Or is it more adhering to the cell structure of your face?
Like the oils on the skin?
Yeah.
Or is it
Does the beard does it attract it, or does it deflect? Well, like a poor little skateboarder when he's going around, does it hit the wall and fall down?
You know, if okay, so what I would picture a beard being hydrophobic, right? Water just kind of falls off of it, right? But other oily things kind of sticking to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Would say.
And so if it is airborne or comes through water vapors, I would assume the virus would be hydrophilic, water loving.
Yeah.
And so my guess, if I were to take a stab at it, is that the beard would be slightly beneficial for the virus. But when it comes to wearing the mask, you're not going to get the seal that you need to prevent.
Exactly.
That's the only issue.
When I was in the Army, we had, for years, consistently trained. We called it NBC training, nuclear, biological, and chemical.
Okay. And
you may have seen the masks that we would wear, and they have these canisters in them. And that's a number, well, the rationale behind facial hair was from the Roman period where you didn't have something to grab onto. No long hair, no facial hair. When you're fighting, you're clean shaven, you got short hair.
Makes sense.
Well, secondary to that was more so we started messing around with chemicals and such, was to have, just as you had said, a nice tight seal between the device itself and the human skin.
Yeah.
So I figure, okay, digress and go back to what I was trained for and try that out and see how it works. That's how most people I've seen with the masks is that they've relinquished facial hair. I went to see my optometrist today. Greatest guy, nice guy, and for some reason he had cancellations. I don't know why. I told him,
who would have thought?
Yeah, put me on the cancellation list. They called me the next day. Hey, are you available for an eye appointment today? Okay,
we're completely available anytime.
I said, except this afternoon because I got a podcast going on, but I can come by this morning.
Perfect. Yeah, we're available from now until next Tuesday, anytime.
Right. Yeah. Just let me check my schedule. Oh, geez, look at it. And went to see him, and he has the masks. What's the nomenclature? The
N95 particle mask.
That's it. He had some in his garage when he was doing remodeling of his place.
Would you look at that? Having backstock just by chance.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, he took them and brought them into the office. So and there's only a couple of people in the office, four, maybe five, that they're wearing the full masks and gloves. I said, that's great. Yeah, that you're taking care of your people.
Yeah,
you're actually providing that for them. Yeah, and no, he had it was a full goatee or had facial hair, and now. No, with the mask, he's trimmed it up, cleaned it down. His hair's short and everything. Yeah. So, that's something I'm definitely gonna try. Yeah. To see. Well, but I actually wash my face too, like this soap thing. Oh yeah. It's kind of lathery and really kind of it's wild.
Fascinating.
Because if you rub it hard enough, it turns like foamy. What? Yeah.
I got to go to the store and hoard this.
It's amazing. Yeah. And, just make sure it doesn't say Clorox on the front. Oh. Just yeah, it has to be like Purell or Dawn. Or, yeah.
What about Dove?
I've eaten Dove before. Yeah. It's kind of gamey. But,
can't rub it.
Oh, you mean the cream? Yeah, you can rub Doves on your face. They have natural oils on there.
Just rub it on your face. Oh, fuck these things.
They fly away anyway. What the hell? Yeah. Oh, you mean it's a bird?
I lost one of them.
What do you mean bird virus? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Avian flu? Fuck you. This is a bird.
No, just washing and cleaning and hygiene.
Yeah. Have you ever thought? Okay, so I gotta ask. Have you ever thought about doing something exotic with your beard?
That's a great question. Having little curls, little twists.
Yeah. Get the little handlebars. Get some mutton chops going on. Get some. Oh my gosh, I've seen some like 18th century like twists. With a little like handlebars, but like all along the waves, different kind of points.
That's interesting.
Like it goes
I was thinking
crazy.
Maybe a rubber band down here, the old Viking kind of thing with the pier, the spikes. putting
Or you
spikes
can,
on there.
or a little like Fu Manchu kind of thing going
Ooh,
on, or
that's
something like that.
interesting perspective. You could go that route.
Yeah.
I was thinking of growing the hair up.
Oh,
See if I can get it to connect all the way up to.
interesting.
Yeah, just do that whole Wolfman kind of
Yes.
thing, and just be
Yes.
furry and.
I like it. I
know.
like it. Prepared for the winter. Winter is coming.
Get that whole unibrow going. Honey, let me see if I can put them together now.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can make it dance.
ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think just strip it down, take the hair down, and see how the mask works.
Yeah.
Which is interesting thinking about that. Yeah, breathing with those masks. I see them all over the place, and they've all been sold out. And
Mm-hmm.
then hearing, okay, well, they're not effective for people who are not infected. So why are you guys hoarding all the masks? Is that real news? Is that fake news? Because I know every time I go to the hospital, they're wearing one.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they discouraging people from wearing a mask?
I honestly think that is to prevent people or discourage people from buying just ridiculous amounts of masks and allowing the health professionals and people who actually need them to get them.
Yeah.
Because the N95, the N100 masks do, or even the some of the other, I can't remember what the other mask was, but it was even one more above that.
Mm-hmm.
Is definitely a protective measure for people to not inhale the virus. But it's a constant adjustments and fixing the mask and making sure the nose is pinched just right and doing things you can inhale while adjusting.
Right.
That's the ineffective part.
Got it.
Or that's where the most concern was for the general population who
air leaks.
Didn't understand how to properly use.
Good point. So they think just that because it's there and it's a barrier doesn't mean that things cannot get through if you don't have a proper application of it.
You can only wear it for about 8 hours during the day. Beyond that, you start to affect your the oxygen in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You're preventing so much airflow to restrict the viruses from getting through. You're actually restricting the airflow to the point where it could be harmful to you long term.
Right.
So you'll start losing brain cells after wearing this thing for 10 plus hours. You know.
Well, now that makes sense. Now I'm starting to understand.
So I mean, people who don't understand will definitely harm themselves.
Yeah.
But with the panic or paranoia, nobody's gonna give a shit. They're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna wear this thing always.
That's true. That's true. I'll sleep with this thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that could be harmful.
Makes sense. Yeah. Because when training with the military, when we would put those on, they would stay on.
Mm-hmm.
And they had actually little tubes that come out.
Mm-hmm.
And they had these special apparatus. This is, going on 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That you had a canteen. The canteen would have a lip on it. So you'd create a seal. You'd plug that little tube in there so you could drink from your canteen.
Nice.
And, but that was about the only thing I tried. You can't plug a cigarette in there. And
oh, damn it.
Can't inhale, Can't pour vodka and try to stick the little tube in there.
Dang it.
I mean, maybe it's changed over time.
Yeah.
Maybe technology has improved.
Yeah.
But, there was no way to have any intake besides water or whatever was liquid in your canteen in that mask.
Gotcha.
And it would... some people would go a little stir crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's got the nice, wide, you can see and you got good periphery.
Yeah. I think there's something on your head that you get that claustrophobic feeling,
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's been so hard for me to adapt to the CPAP because of the mask that you have to wear.
Yeah. Do you get that claustrophobia? Okay.
I did at first.
Yeah.
When I first started wearing it, I wasn't very comfortable with
it.
As time has progressed, I felt a little more comfortable with it, but subconsciously, inadvertently, in the middle of the night,
I rip it right off.
Yeah. Yep. And I wake up and I go, wait, where's my mask? Exactly.
You hear that?
Do I have a flat tire?
Yeah.
What the heck's going on over there? Yeah, air's just leaking out.
Yeah.
No, they've anticipated that, so the machines over time, when they realize they're not hooked up, will shut down.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So you only have so much air pumping through, and then eventually it's like...
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So
saves on electricity, saves your pump.
It does.
Yeah.
However, people don't know, with those machines being, and any other medical device that has to be on a consistent basis, life support, heart monitors, air oxygenators, machines, whatever, the CPAP machines.
A controlled drip system too.
Yes, anything requiring electricity. You get there's a form that you can get from SDG&E. Your doctor would sign off that says this is medically necessary. You can send it in there, and they will. I don't know exactly how much. I'm still waiting to see the effects, but they'll have a decrease in your electrical bill. I think like 17 to 20% or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, because they know there's a portion of it constantly. You have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
It has to run,
mm-hmm.
and so yeah, definitely little things you learn, but you just have to investigate.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and watch the video over and over again about the dog with the Floby.
Yeah, don't do this all day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look at this new TikTok video.
Oh my gosh. I stay away from TikTok completely. I don't trust it at all. I don't trust it at all.
Yeah.
Because the majority of it's owned by, Tencent or whatever Chinese corporation.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I can't.
A lot of apps I stay away from.
Yeah.
But what was it there? I don't know if it's fake news or real news. They were talking about rallying with the major social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, to be able to track people. And tracking those that actually have the potentiality or have the coronavirus themselves. Like keeping tabs on people. Yes.
Based off of what? Doctor visits, what they search online?
Right, exactly.
Or what?
The research. Just like libraries back in the day. You ever seen the movie Seven? With Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman?
Yes.
The Seven Deadly Sins.
Yes.
And they were trying to track down Kevin Spacey, who behaved that same way in public as he did in the movie.
Weird, huh?
The FBI would use the profiling, although not legally, to keep a track of books that people were checking out of the library to find certain histories. See, and if they had serial killer tendencies, pedophile tendencies, things like that, they were basically keeping an eye on people's library card records. So it's now keeping a track of what I'm believing. Like I said, I don't know if it's fake news, this is real news, this is just more stuff that's come up.
Yeah.
And trying to keep an eye out for people that may be trying to hide the fact if they are infected or tracing people and following them. I'd love to learn more about it. I'd love to, again, education, going back to the fact. I don't know much about it. I just hear something, but I want to know more about it. I don't know if the mask will work. I'm going to try it and do some research and see if it is better. How are beards or facial hair coming into contact with the virus and how that affects people. It's just, and taking it as a grain of salt. You pointed out many times fake news. What's real, what's fake, what's truthful. It's hard to know what to believe nowadays.
It really is. It really is.
But if you can find in various outlets multiple resources that have similar types of information, looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and maybe a chicken.
It's definitely a horse.
But if you can find sightings or books or research and stuff, trying to be educated.
Yeah.
But I think it's just interesting. I mean, I think media is tracking us as it is.
Oh, yeah.
I think they know our whereabouts. I don't know how many times have you heard where you're out with a friend, you're having a conversation, and then shortly thereafter something pops up on your phone
I was just talking to Scarlett the other day, a video game streamer, and she was saying that she'll say something about a dog leash or something like that because she's got a dog, and all of a sudden there it is, boom. Or she'll say, I was thinking about getting him this chew toy, and then all of a sudden you got different bones on Amazon or Google next time you pop on,
right?
Or microwaves or something like that. It's bizarre how your phone is now a spy, and it's spying on you always, or your TV or other things in your office. Your printer or whatever else.
The gaming systems that have the like Xbox Connect that has a camera in it. The Xbox One, a number of these that have some type of camera or microphone to go with. It is a great portal for anybody pretty much to tap into.
Oh, yeah.
And see how things go. I have one of my clients. He does not have a computer. He doesn't have an email. Does not operate off of having that type of media.
Smart.
And he goes, I don't do it, And I said, you're an anomaly, but
Yeah.
I'll bless you in that fact. I put some of my own gaming systems away, broke out the Atari.
There you
Play
go.
the Atari.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis.
Heck yeah, Super Nintendo.
Ooh, yeah.
Bust out the Commodore 64.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I had the one with the cassette tape where you could actually record I was learning how to program in BASIC, and it would record the sounds of the program. Beep, beep, and be able to feed it back into the computer.
Yeah.
And it took like almost a day, but I created a wonderful portrait of Alfred E. Newman. Basic. So show you how well that skill set paid off.
Bravo.
Oh, well, I know we've got a limited amount of time here because you're going to have to depart.
Yeah.
But this was engaging. This is good.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out.
Thank you for getting me out of my office because I'm still going to my office every day.
Yeah.
Still trying to help clients buying and selling with real estate or answering questions if I can.
Okay.
And I'm definitely not an expert, but try my best to help people.
Okay. Well, then I got to ask, since you've been helping people buy and sell, when is now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to sell?
Is any time a good time to buy or sell? It's because of the rates and because of what's happening with the stock market. I would believe, in my personal opinion, yes, it is a good time. Because so we go back to the history of the market, back to the 1950s, when they were first able to actually track sales records and pricing and all that, when they really instituted that. Overall in San Diego County, from the 1950s to about now, we've come up over 50%, 52% in value. Okay, it's time, but it's come up. Have we decreased? Sure. When we had things hit 07, 08, 09, we went down somewhere in 38 to 42%.
Yeah.
But we've rebounded back over 45% since that time, since the last 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
It's always a solid investment because people always need or would like to have a place to live. Why do companies, corporations, individuals, investors have apartment complexes? Constant flow of money coming in. Do you have to maintain it? Of course you do. But just like storage units, there's always money flowing.
Yeah.
There's always there. If the biggest thing is to consider whether you're going to be house rich and cash poor, and can you viably sustain it? With the people being let go, jobs and such, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging. I would look for other resources. I told my nephew, as I said, 22, he was working at a pizza joint, and they basically they cut back.
Yeah.
So he went and found another job. Unfortunately, it was in restaurant business, and he was a low man on the totem pole, and they again let him go.
Yeah.
I said, so what are you going to do? He said, I don't know. He's freaking out. How am I going to pay my rent next month and stuff like that? I'm like, you were a delivery driver, weren't you? Why don't you go check out, delivering food, because now that's what a majority of the restaurants are doing.
Yeah.
Prepping food for either delivery or pickup.
Yeah.
Figure it out, man. Find a way to make it work. I'm not going to let him fail. I'm not going to let him fall on his face because he's trying.
Yeah.
And I told him, as long as you do what you can and try to do well, I'll help support you.
Okay.
In the immediate sense of people being affected economically, perhaps not the best time to buy. But if you have the means, my friend, he works with one of the the services that are considered essential. A cable company. So while everybody's out hanging out, he's driving around fixing everybody's cable and internet. Because I can imagine what the world would be if the internet just...
Right.
If we lost connectivity.
Yeah.
What was it that time we had the blackout? Were you here? That was 2013? 2012, 2013. We had a blackout in San Diego.
No. I was, that time I was in Monterey.
Somebody made a mistake and pulled the wrong plug or screwed up something near Arizona, which caused a ripple effect all the way through Southern California and San Diego. We were in a blackout for 6 hours, 5, 6, no, more longer than that, 7 hours.
Goodness. And
it crippled everything. No electricity. I have candles all over my place. I'm telling you. But I made the mistake.
Yeah.
I was in I was off of Delmar Heights Road.
Okay.
And you know how far that is from here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on Delmar Heights Road, and I forgot my laptop, and it was fully charged because it was left plugged in.
Okay.
And went down the street to Loma Santa Fe. Went to a Panera Bread, meet up with a friend of mine. This was exactly 4:20, which is so weird.
go figure.
I'm trying to figure that one out. Oh, darn it! Hit the wrong switch. Oh, man.
And then you forget what you're doing. Oh, yeah.
Like, why is there no power, man? We're in Panera Bread, and we're talking, and all of a sudden it goes dark. And we're looking around and go,
geez.
What's going on? And we're like, is this just the building, or is it this whole parking lot? And we look out, and all these other buildings are dark.
Oh,
and it was still light. It was, but you could tell that the electricity had gone out. People were still walking into Panera Bread trying to buy stuff, walking up to the counter. And she's like, I don't know. I can't ring it up. I don't know what I can do.
Yeah.
It's crippled. And they were like, well, I got cash. We don't have ways to write it, to take the orders.
Yeah.
So I looked at Mark, and I was like, I'm going to go get my laptop, and I'm going home. I suggest you do the same. And I go just 2 exits. Loma Santa Fe, Via de la Valle, Delmar Heights. 7 minutes. Boom, go down there, go up to the building, get my laptop because I figured I might need it, go back downstairs. Took me 3.5 hours to get from Delmar Heights and the 5 freeway up to La Costa, which is 8 exits.
Oh my gosh.
And east 3 miles to my place. 3.5 hours. I'm so happy I had a full tank of gas.
Holy crap.
And it was just because the electricity went out. So we've been crippled even further than what we have now.
Yeah.
It did finally come back. I think it was 11, 12 o'clock at night. I don't know. It was sometime late that night or into the early morning that the electricity came back on. But had my laptop, stuck in a DVD, lit up a few candles. Took it easy.
Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But he's one of the services that he's out there working, and other people are still working. There's companies that are still not allowing people to walk in the door. Like the county recorder's office is still open. You just have doing things electronically. But their workers come in, they scrub down, and they work, and then they go home. Mm-hmm. And for people that still have that kind of stability, don't stop. Keep moving forward. Because now there's going to be less competition, less people looking to buy or having the ability to buy something. Mm-hmm. Sellers, don't be scared. Still put your homes out there. Still, especially if you have to, for whatever reason or another, have to move. Mm-hmm. We still want to try to sell. I don't think there's ever a perfect time, ever. Mm-hmm. There's never a perfect time in life for anything.
Yeah.
Like they say, we never know when we're going to die. And I've learned by losing so many people that in my own heart and my own head, squeeze it for everything it's got. Enjoy it every day.
Yeah.
This year alone, I've been connected to 5 people that have passed away. And then it's March.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I lost 17 people one year. One of them was my sister, my stepsister.
That's really tough. Really tough.
And so, Don't let the little things tear you apart.
Yeah.
Enjoy the little things. Well, enjoy the little things. Don't lose focus of who you are, humanity, we as people.
Yeah.
And just try to stay educated and do the best that you can and live your life and keep moving forward.
Don't take things for granted.
No.
Yeah.
No. When I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2013, that really opened my eyes.
Yeah. No. Okay. What type of cancer? You don't mind me asking?
It was a carcinoma. It was on my kidney.
Okay.
It was a tumor.
Okay.
And it was the weirdest thing because I was at home and I had these severe pains on my left side. It felt like the muscles were contracting and releasing every 10 seconds. Yeah. Like somebody's taking a knife and doing this.
Oh, uncomfortable.
And very, very painful.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe, is there something, gas? Do I have something? What's going on here?
Stretch or something.
Pepto-Bismol, try this, try that.
Yeah.
4.5 hours, couldn't take it. Told my buddy, I said, I need you, take me down to the ER at the VA. And they took me and they gave me some pain meds. Mm-hmm. And did an MRI, and the doc comes out and he goes, I got some news and I got some interesting news. Okay, what's the interesting news? We have no clue what's going on your left side.
Oh shit.
There's no problems, there's no blood, there's nothing out of order. However, the news is on your right side, opposing side, there's a little friend. He's attached himself to your kidney, and he's got to come out.
Oh.
And I don't know why that happened. I would have not. He goes, it's growing at such a pace that it would have eventually ruptured, taken out your kidneys and taken out other organs, and really, really negatively affected you.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, the pain on the left side, as I had the surgery on the right, it took them a few months to get it, for the military to get it done and get it approved.
Yeah.
But luckily they took it out. But after that night in November, when I had the pain on the left side, it never came back, ever.
Wow.
But the tumor wasn't removed until it was May of 2014.
Huh.
So
that's weird. I don't know what could have caused it, but thank goodness that you felt something.
Completely.
Yeah.
So faith, believe it. Squeeze it for, like I said, for everything it's got. Don't take advantage of anything. Don't take it granted.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll never get this virus, or hey, everything will be fine. No, be cautious.
Yeah.
Don't stop living your life, though.
Yeah. I know I'm washing my hands like 12, 14 times a day minimum, without even like counting, the times I touch something weird or use the restroom.
Right.
So, just wash and keep clean. Definitely.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. And distancing. I mean, we're at least a good arm's length away from each other.
Yeah,
and I think the wine is a protective barrier.
Oh, the alcohol in the mouth definitely coats and protects for sure.
It does.
So take shots, alcohol, wine as much as you can, when you can, responsibly.
Responsibly.
Yeah.
Well, if you're sequestered at home, the worst case is you're going to fall off the couch.
Exactly.
So,
in the safety of your own home.
Right. That's true. That's true. Make sure you don't have that tile floor, though. That might hurt.
Oh,
this carpet is good.
Yes.
It's a good carpet for falling.
Good.
Might make your neighbors upset by hearing thumping going on upstairs, but
well, to hell with them, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's an older complex. It's built to concrete.
It's built to last, right? Yeah. They don't make them like they used to anymore.
No, it's not particle board anymore. This is full concrete.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
this is good. This is good. Engaging. I appreciate this. This
absolutely.
is a lot of fun.
Again, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Definitely.
And poke your brain.
If anybody has any questions or want to talk further, a way to get a hold of this gentleman here. He's up and coming as a new podcaster and interviewing people. And I think it's when he described it, and it feels like almost along the lines of coffees and was it driving in cars with celebrities or something, and coffee shops that they were just people talking.
Yeah.
And it's great to have that kind of interaction. Because I agree,
definitely.
we don't do that like we used to anymore.
Yeah.
Not as much as we should.
Yes.
So
100%. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Scott.
Completely. Thank you.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care.